So with that, we'll start with our next celebrity chef, who is Jason Lavinsky, executive chef at the Hyatt at Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, about 60 miles north of us. Take a bow. Now I'm going to read your bio, so take a seat. Born and raised in SoCal, Chef Jason's love of cooking began with his grandma, Joy. His early memories abundant with culinary adventures he and his grandmother shared, from his first Thanksgiving dinner for a family of 40 plus to a recipe still very much a favorite of his, Christmas beef logs. Sounds entertaining. Becoming his first experience. Having grown up both in LA and Orange County, Chef Jason attributes much of his ability to maintain his passion for cooking to the thriving multicultural communities there and the unique styles, insight they each offer to the culinary field. Though the many paths he has taken have not always been, is this all correct, Jason? Close enough? Okay. Though the many paths he's taken have not always been in culinary discipline, Jason has always held cooking close to him as a dear friend and true love. While working as a kitchen manager in a small LA-based craft services company, Jason felt a need to make a career change and seek an opportunity that would expand his culinary knowledge. A firm believer in saying, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Did you really say that? Okay. He began his Hyatt career in November 2005 as a sous chef of the Hyatt Regency Irvine off-site restaurant, the Oak Creek Cafe, located on the beautiful grounds of Oak Creek Golf Club. His dedication and passion for culinary excellence quickly gained him not only the attention of the executive staff at the hotel, but he was also featured in local publications for his stellar creations. As a result of his hard work at the cafe, Jason was invited to work on site at the hotel as the new banquet sous chef. Over the next 5 years, he would prove to be a very valuable asset to the Hyatt brand, resulting in a long-awaited opportunity at the Hyatt Regency Long Beach as their executive sous chef. Only 8 months after his promotion to Long Beach, Jason received an offer he couldn't refuse, assisting the Hyatt at Fisherman's Wharf here in San Francisco during their search for the hotel's next executive chef. Still with me? A position that was ultimately offered to him a mere 2 weeks after his first day here. Chef Jason accepted his offer with the realization that he had achieved a goal he had been working toward for much of his adult life. He lives in San Francisco with his wife and his 2 weenie dogs, and he loves San Francisco, and he also is a 5K'er. He ran the what was it called, the 5K?
What's that?
Your 5K you ran.
Oh, the pre-resolution 5K.
And he did the
So
and the triathlon you did up in Morgan Hill too.
Morgan Hill was triathlon last April. Actually finished. I didn't have a heart attack.
That's what we like. That's why you're here. All good. With that, help me introduce and welcome Chef Jason Lavinsky.
They put a lock on this garlic clove. I can't get it open. Look like an amateur here. Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? I introduce myself. My name is Jason Lavinsky. I'm the executive chef of the Hyatt Fisherman's Wharf, and Knuckles is our restaurant. We're 100% sustainable members of the Seafood Watch Foundation. We do lots of farm to table. All of our eggs are organic, cage-free, and try to drive the industry in the direction of promoting these healthier foods for us. Gonna make a dessert for you guys. So everybody before me made an entree and appetizer, so why not make a dessert with garlic in it? Oh, and he said he was asking me about black garlic. So black garlic is regular garlic, like this, that has been put in a heated source for 30 days, 100 degrees. What happens is all of the sulfur in the garlic turns into sugar, and then the garlic tastes like raisins. So very sweet, and they're versatile. You can use them in anything like bruschetta, desserts, but they don't have that acidic garlic taste that they usually do when they're in a raw state. So if you guys see it, pick it up. It's kind of expensive, but it's worth the price. So we're going to be making a goat cheese and garlic panna cotta. And if you want to make this without the garlic, you just got to take it out of the recipe. So turn on my heat here, just a medium-low heat. We're going to add in our heavy cream. And that's about 2 cups there. And we're going to add in our buttermilk and our sugar. Our buttermilk was 1 cup, and our sugar is, where's our sugar? Right here. 3/4 cup of sugar. All right. Turn the heat on there, give it a little stir with a whisk. So I kind of pre-measured everything. This is a good trick you guys can do at home, that we don't have such a mess when you're done cooking, and you can enjoy your food and go to sleep afterwards and not have to clean up a big mess. Here's our gelatin. We have to soften a little bit with some water, so it's equal parts. 2 teaspoons of gelatin and 2 teaspoons of water. And this is just so we don't have big clumps of gelatin in our dessert when it's finished. So just gonna stir it around a little bit. And let that sit for a second while this comes up to heat. All right. Anybody have any questions for me while this is coming up to heat?
What's Jamaican?
Panna cotta. It's a goat cheese and garlic panna cotta. It's just a dessert, and it's kind of a cross between like a Jello and a custard. What's that? Yeah, I'm gonna do 2 different toppings for you guys. I made a lavender syrup here, so it's equal parts of sugar and water, and then you put lavender, fresh lavender, dried lavender, you steep it, bring it to a boil, then add your lavender in, let it sit and rest for a couple of minutes, and you strain it through something like this into a separate container, and it'll go really nice with the goat cheese. And then also I'm gonna show you guys when I'm done with the panna cotta how to make easy caramel. Salted caramel goes really nice with it as well. What's that? It's a cold dish, so it has gelatin in it, so it has to set overnight. Yeah, so it's like kind of a cross between a Jello and a custard, so it's like both best of both worlds. So just watch your heat here. You don't want to scorch your cream because then it'll taste bad. But just want to get it up to a nice simmer. So I do serve this dish at my hotel, but I do not serve it with the garlic because sometimes people aren't that adventurous. So I tried something new and played around with the recipe that I already had and added different levels of garlic into it. With this recipe, I'm going to go with 2 cloves, but you guys want to try it on your own. You can do more than that, less than that. Like I said, you can take it out completely. You know, some people think putting dessert or garlic in dessert is crazy, but I love garlic. This is my 2nd year here at the Garlic Festival, and it's amazing. Garlic should be the foundation of every dish, even dessert. So I'm going to cut these in half, just so they give a little bit more flavor in the dish. I'm going to add them now. And like I said, if 2's not enough for you, 3, 4, 10. Kill a vampire. Pardon me? Black garlic would look really nice in this. I wanted to do it, but black garlic is one of those things. It's not really big in U.S. Culinary. It's from China. It's where it originates from. I saw it the first time maybe 4 years ago. Vendors started carrying it here. It's like $20 a pound. So somebody that wants to spend $20 for garlic that costs like 30 cents a pound, weigh the odds. But it's really, if you see it, try it out. It's really worth it. Pardon me? Oh yeah, I have it at home. I have it at work. Like I said, really, really nice. You put it in like bruschetta, diced up tomatoes, basil, olive oil, balsamic. I like to use white balsamic because the black garlic will turn everything black anyways. And then serve it with some toasted bread. Yes, ma'am. Whole Foods carries it. Nob Hill might carry it. Some of the higher end markets, it's usually like in a little bag. They sell by like one clove. Anybody else? Or something? Yes, sir. Are the Giants going to make the playoffs? I hope so. I have tickets. Doesn't look like it though, huh? Hey, I'm a realist. Our restaurant menu changes seasonally. Right now is a 10-ounce bone-in veal chop served with buttered potatoes, and we change our vegetables quite often, but right now it's with a roasted asparagus. And we serve that with a veal reduction, red wine, and the drippings from the veal chop comes out really nice. I'm just at the medium-low heat. I'm just bringing it to a nice simmer. It's at a simmer now. Once you get it to that temperature, you want to turn off the heat. So we're at a temperature right now. I don't know if the camera can see. So we're going to turn it off, remove it from the heat. And now we're going to add in our gelatin. And then a little bit of vanilla. And then our goat cheese. So I use a soft goat cheese. Any goat cheese will work, but this one goes well with this application because it melts down really quick. There's other cheeses I think that would go really well, like a Humboldt Fog goat cheese would be nice. It's 2 cups of goat cheese. The recipe's in the cookbook. If you guys want to check that out, everything's in there. So it's 2 cups of goat cheese, 2 cups of heavy cream, 1 cup of buttermilk, and it's 2 teaspoons of gelatin and 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. So we're just going to stir all this in together. Make sure that you get it nice and mixed. That way you don't have big clumps of goat cheese or big clumps of gelatin in here. So, it didn't take very long, very simple dessert to make. And like I said, take the garlic out and wow your guests, or put it in and really wow your guests. So like I said, this sets overnight. It's going to take about, depending on the temperature of your refrigerator, 4 to 8 hours to set fully. And then serve it the next day. So this is just an easy strainer in each store, and we're going to use this to get out all of the big chunks that we don't want in our nice panna cotta. And then, So any bowl that's not too deep will work to set it in overnight. Like I said, just like Jell-O, anything will work. I used a couple of different things. Being in a restaurant, we have lots of little to-go cups, so I use something like that. This is just a soup bowl, anything you have at home. And you're just going to fill it about halfway and then put it in your refrigerator overnight. And then in the morning, when you're ready to go, it looks like that. So now we're going to make a quick caramel, which is easy to do. Anybody can do it. But before I move on, anybody have any questions about this dish? Yes, sir. Yeah, I put it in. You want it? You want to try it? No, 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 no. It's right here. It's in the bottom of the pot, but still hot. What's that? You can serve it with like a it's dessert. You can eat it by itself. You can eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But you can serve it with anything that's complimentary. You know, some braised short ribs is I think what I serve it with now. But there's the garlic. So, tastes like vanilla. You can serve it with anything. It's a separate dish on its own. So, you know, it doesn't have to really complement your other dishes. All right. So caramel. Caramel's easy. Anybody think caramel is hard to do? No. Everybody thinks it's easy. Everybody, I'm coming to your house afterwards for caramel. All right. So we have half a cup of half and half. We're going to add that to our pot. And then we have 1 cup of brown sugar. Brown sugar again. So next to butter, or next to garlic, butter is my second favorite ingredient. So half a stick of butter. And then, so for this dish, I made a salted caramel, and I made a rosemary, or not rosemary, I made a lavender syrup. So either one will go really well, or both. But I have them both right here. I pre-made them because you have to let them cool before you can serve them. So, and this is a salted caramel. I use sea salt here, and then this is just sugar and water, equal parts, and fresh lavender. Steep it, let it cool, and strain it through the same strainer. So we have our pot here, and we're just going to whisk everything together. So it's half a cup of half and half, 1 cup of brown sugar, and half stick of butter, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So this is one of those dishes that you want to keep an eye on, keep it stirring, because it will boil over and ruin your stove and have a lot of mess to clean up. Lucky for me, I have employees that clean up after me, but my wife doesn't like when I cook at home. She said, your employees don't work here to clean after you, so. And I don't know how to shut cabinet doors. I don't know why they put doors on cabinets in kitchens. It's like everything should be able to just grab it, you know? You hide all the good stuff. So this you can do over medium-high heat, as long as you keep an eye on it. And basically, you just want to boil everything together, and then you're going to reduce it. So once it brings to a boil, about 5 to 7 minutes, and it'll become a nice thick caramel once it cools down. But I think we're cooking with like propane or something here. It's not very hot. So I'm going to do a couple different plated variations so you guys can see what it could look like in different applications. Sometimes they don't want to come out of the thing. That one's fired. We need to hire new cups here. So if it doesn't come out, you can just run a knife around the edge or butter knife or something. There you go. I'm gonna force this one out too, just because I don't like to be defeated. It's a vacuum lock. It's like the beer can effect. So, like I said, anything you want. Like, so rosemary is what I used in the recipe in the book, just for color. So you can do a rosemary sugar water. You can do lavender. You know, one good thing about working in a kitchen is you have so much stuff in front of you, so it's kind of spoiled. And you go in the fridge to get something, and you see something else, and you're like, oh, I like that better. And that's one of the best things about kitchen and culinary and being a chef is that, you know, there's not many rules. You know, it's up to you if you like it or not. So you can do whatever you like. You know, if it doesn't taste good to somebody else, you know, that's their problem. You know, that's the whole thing. If you ever barbecue in your backyard and somebody says it's burned, you said, no, that's how I like to eat it. See? I didn't burn anything. Do people send back food in restaurants? Absolutely. You cannot ever get away from that. People, just like I said, preferences, you know, people's tastes. People might order something like this in a restaurant and spit it out, and it's just not because it's bad, it's because maybe they just didn't like goat cheese and garlic together. I don't know what's wrong with those people, but so this is just some candied garlic I made because I had the syrup laying around. So you just boil the garlic in the syrup until it becomes soft, and then rub it around with a little bit of sugar, and then deep fry it. I know a lot of people don't have deep fryers at home, but like I said, one of the other benefits of working in a kitchen. So see, my caramel here now is nice and bubbly. Kind of got to keep an eye on it so it doesn't boil over, but you want to keep it at this temperature for about 5 or 7 minutes. That way it's at a nice consistency. Kind of a trick that we do in the kitchen is just take your whisk and run it on the table. You don't want to stick your finger in here because it'll stick to your finger and you're going to be running around screaming. But if you put it on the table's cold, then you can just taste it, make sure it's good. So the last thing I want to add to here is the salt. Because right now it's really sweet and it doesn't have that salted caramel. So if you like sweet caramel without the salt, you don't have to put any salt in it. But like I said, it's my kitchen and my rules, so I do whatever I want. So I'm just going to put a couple pinches of salt in here. And like I said, salt to your taste. Give it a stir. And then you can take this and put it on popcorn or anything else you like. Put it on the wall, lick the wall, whatever. So like, this is an easy trick at home. If you like caramel corn, make this, pop some popcorn, put it in a bowl, toss it together, let it cool for 5 minutes. You got homemade caramel corn. You don't have to pay anybody else to do it for you. So that's just about done there. And like I said, we have to let it cool down before we serve it with our dessert because this is a gelatin-based dessert, so it's heat sensitive. So if you put a hot liquid over it, the gelatin will release and then you'll have soup on the table. So like here's the rosemary and then here's my caramel I made it in advance. So like maybe I think the candied garlic with the caramel, you know, as much as you like there. And I think this one goes really nice with rosemary, nice beautiful green, and we'll give this one the royal treatment here with a little bit of everything. There you go. So 3 ways you guys can do it yourself. Impress your friends. Look like a rock star. It's not hard, huh? So that's my recipe. So anybody have any questions else I can answer? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. With non-dairy milk, um, no, because it's a custard. So you'd have to use a lot more gelatin. And if you're trying to get away from meat, gelatin is from meat, so then it wouldn't be vegetarian either already. So yes, sir. You could use aspic, which is a vegetarian-based thickener. You can find it at like Vietnamese stores. Yes, sir. Yeah, right here.
Would it make a difference if you use the butter with lavender?
The butter with lavender. The lavender or the butter went into the caramel. Yeah. So you could put lavender in the caramel, but it would probably burn because of the temperature of the caramel is so high. But you could take a little bit of this once the caramel's done and throw it in there, and then you have a little bit of lavender flavor in there. Anybody else? Caramel and garlic? Yeah, we should do that, huh? I bet you could. Absolutely, you can do whatever you want. That's the culinary world. You can do whatever you want. Like I said, if it doesn't taste... Have I done it? No. But I will now that you told me that. I heard somebody. I didn't hear what they said. How many employees do I have? Is that what she said? I couldn't hear.
How many employees to clean up your mess?
Oh, yeah, huh? 7. But they love it because I feed them all day long. See? Every time I give them something dirty, I give them something to eat. So it's a trade-off.
When it's the end of your shift, what's the favorite meal that you make for yourself?
At the end of my shift, I go home and my wife cooks for me. She's an amazing cook. And my 2 dogs, yeah. Over here. Yes, sir. Can you try something? Unfortunately not because of health code. Yeah. I wish. But you guys can make it at home. It's not hard. Look, it took me, 30 minutes? Have a girl over, make a nice dessert for her. She'll want to marry you, dude. That's what you do. You cook for them first, and then you don't ever have to cook again. Anybody else? Over here, quiet people. No? All right. Well, thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys have the time to do this at home and enjoy.